after
you
this
could just
call, after this call, can we talk a little bit more about this reunion coming up?
yeah, if you want to, yeah, I'm free. So
I'll give you some names and numbers, and now I've got the schedule.
oh, okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so just let me know what
Just
you
have,
need to do and I'll take care of it.
yeah, just have a pen and paper ready. Okay. And then there's Gora Prema, Haribol. I'm on Radhastami. I'm coming to Hamilton.
Oh, when are you coming?
I'm coming on Radhastami, 31st.
Oh, wow. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, Maharaj.
From 1 to 3, and then after that, Niagara.
Oh, Haribol. I
Okay.
would be there, Maharaj. Just one thing, Maharaj. So Nidhi from Delhi is waiting for your reply on email for like 3 weeks or something. So she wanted me to tell you. Nidhi, yeah. She's
Can you
waiting for your
please,
reply.
can you please just forward it to me?
I will, Maharaj.
Because it just means I missed it, and
Yes, yes.
if I
No
don't
worries,
answer,
Maharaj.
it means I missed it, which happens. All right.
Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you. So Ravinder Sarup, Hare Krishna, how are you? And who else do we have? We have a ghost. Let's see. There's a ghost here, and I can't make out who it is. Can't make out the name.
Somebody has a very nice office.
You're talking about where I am?
I don't know. I saw nobody in it, but a really nice corner office. Did you guys see that before?
Where I am.
Is that where you are?
No, I'm just in Vancouver.
Oh, it's beautiful there, huh? It's beautiful there.
Yeah. I mean, the office, the place where I'm staying, it doesn't make any sense. The way it's laid out, but I'm happy to be here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That one is
Okay.
Yavanadasi. Nava Yavanadasi.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, that's true. I see that now. Okay, good. I think we should get started. Vaishnavi, should we get started right now?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes?
Yes,
No?
Maharaj.
Okay, great. All right, let's start with our invocational mantras. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Pranamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Satyavadi Bhakta Teresa Tarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, before we get started, for those devotees in Holland, I do want to bring some books with me, and we'll just have to figure out what the best way to do that. Maybe I'm not. I assume we'll have some house programs, and we'll have a chance to sell some of the books. My recent book on poetry just came out, and maybe we can find the best way to get it over there. I guess I'll have my carry-on with me, but the check-in could be that. It could be one or two boxes, maybe. I don't know how much they allow, but that's one way to do it. Let's give it some thought. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go to page 1 of our invocation introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Om Jnana Timirandasya.
Om Jnana-timirandasya.
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Jnana-anjana-shalakaya.
Chakshurunmilitam yena.
Chakshur-unmilitam yena.
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance.
I was born in
the darkest ignorance.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes.
and our
My
spiritual
spiritual
master
master,
open my
open
eyes
my eyes
with the torch of knowledge.
with the
with the
torch.
torch of
knowledge.
knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I
I
offer
offer my
respectful
respectful
obeisances
obeisances
unto
unto him.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Okay, I know that we're very much at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. All glories. I hope you all had a nice session last week when I just couldn't make it, but I'm here stationed in Vancouver, so it's easy for me to be with you today. All right, which verse are we on, Vaishnavi?
1.3, Maharaj.
Okay. I'll do the Sanskrit and the English. Pasyaitam pandu putranam acharya mahatim chamum yudam drupada putrena tavashishena dhimata. Translation. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Okay, so now let us go to the purport, and we can have maybe 4 people read it. Take 2 or 3 sentences each. Nice and slow. All right.
Okay. Navayavana, can you start? Otherwise, Shakti can start.
I
And
will
then,
start. I will start. Yeah.
yeah, Navayavana and then Shakti and then Vasanta and Ravindra Swarup, please.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana, commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet,
You have to just limit it to 2
yeah, okay,
3 sentences, but
yeah,
just so others can have a chance. Okay. Great.
yes.
Please. Okay. Next person.
Hare Krishna. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Dhritarashtra, was entrusted to him for
Yeah,
military
the name is
education.
Dristadhyumna.
Oh,
Dristadhyumna.
Dristadhyumna. Yes, I apologize.
Yeah.
Dristadhyumna was entrusted to him for military education.
Okay. Beautiful. That's fine.
Yeah.
Next person.
Now, Hare Krishna. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By
Okay.
this, he wanted to
Yeah,
By
just
this,
2 or 3 sentences. Yeah, please. Go ahead. Next.
by this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna, especially, was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat.
Okay, great. Beautiful voice there, my dear Ravindra Swarup. Thank you, all the readers and all the listeners. Yes, Nitai Priya is giving some applause there. Yeah, okay. We're starting the famous Bhagavad Gita. It's a chunk out of the Bhishma Parva, which is a chunk out of the Mahabharata. And people should be a little bit more, like say, prepared readers who are some of these personalities? Because just at the very beginning, they jump out at us, and it's nice to know a little bit of what who some of these characters are. We start off with Dhritarashtra, the blind king, with a question pointed to Sanjay. Sanjay is the next person in the next verse to reply. And he's talking about Dhritarashtra. And Duryodhan went on. He's the next speaker. So just in the first three verses, we have three different people. Duryodhan seems to be a little bit sarcastic in this verse. He's a little bit arrogant, I'd say. He's talking to his teacher, Dronacharya, and telling him to be sharp and to be alert and so on like that. But that's usually what the teacher will tell the student, isn't it? But we know Duryodhan's character. He's not of the cleanest breed, and he's filled with jealousy, especially against the Pandavas. And so it doesn't surprise us that he'll be a little bit like this. Of course, if a war is about to start, doesn't everyone have to be alert? Isn't it something that you cannot sleep behind the wheel on this one? I think if there's ever a time when you have to be really at your attentive best, it's during the time of war. You almost have to have eyes on the back of your head to know what's coming in from behind you and from the side to the right, to the left, and in the front. And hey, it might even come, we're talking about the days of bows and arrows, it might come from up above. Wow. So I can appreciate that during the Vedic times, and these are still Vedic times, Kali Yuga hasn't totally set in yet, that people were very attentive and very alert and prudent and cautious about all things that were coming their way. They were not distracted like we are distracted now. People are distracted while driving. People are distracted while looking at a screen, because a lot of people have 2 or 3 screens maybe that they're occupied by. And or if you just go to a mall, it was really funny. I was just looking at Instagram today, and they had an old footage, black and white, when they opened up the Yorkdale Mall, which is in Toronto at that time. It was the place to go to. It was the biggest mall in Canada, way before the one in Edmonton and all that. And I'm sure there's other world-class malls that are much bigger than the ones in Canada. But this, what was really interesting about that mall is like there's water fountains all over the place, and there's just many things to distract you. And wow, an indoor mall, you don't have to go outside, you can just totally be in Maya 100%. That was a new concept in the early 60s, these indoor malls. Now they're all over the place. So we live in the world of mass distraction, that's a fact. And so therefore, Duryodhan's remark about be attentive, pay attention, and he'll say something else later on about Bhishma. Watch out, Bhishma. I want some of you to be there for Bhishma. That gives them a high position. Oh, I'm with Bhishma. He was the greatest of all the fighters at the field of Kurukshetra. And in a diplomatic way, saying, okay, I want some of you to be there next to him and keep an eye on him, We don't want to lose him at all. There's another inner story behind that. Amba. Does anybody know the story of Bhishma? When you read the Mahabharata, it's very interesting. Amba had an axe to grind with Bhishma because he forcibly took her away as a young princess. and she already had a paramour, more like a boyfriend on the side, and he took away. That's what Kshatriyas used to do. They had these rakshasa kind of ceremonies. They just kidnap princesses and in order to have them betrothed to someone that they had in mind. So that's what happened. Amba, she felt kind of cheated by Bhishma, and because she already had a friend, and nobody knew about it, it was kind of secretive. But because he touched her and grabbed her by the hand, the arm, therefore he was obliged to marry her. That's the rule. But he couldn't because he made vows of celibacy to his own father. He made that commitment. Kshatriyas are not known to break their vows. They're really good at that. Anyways, she didn't like that. She went back to her boyfriend, and he rejected her because Bhishma has already done what he did, and he considered her soiled. But not good enough for him. Sorry. So then she went back to Bhishma, and he refused once again. And she said, "Then I'll curse you." And then took a form. She, what do you call, gender adjusted herself, became an effeminate man as Shikandi, and her commitment, her vow was to kill him. And Bhishma was known not to fight against anybody who was a woman, even previously. So anyways, interesting dynamics of the whole story. But each one needed a little extra protection. Whether that was behind that story of Amma was behind Duryodhana's, in his thoughts or not, still Bhishma needed extra protection. And Duryodhana was just quite a good diplomat. He knew how to win people's favors. He knew how to flatter and so on, which is one of the arts that you learn in military school. Prabhus, thank you very much. Any comments anybody like to come up with in regards to today's verse and the purport? I'll ask a question. Would it not be a little bit helpful if maybe in the future that our Bhagavad Gita, our special Bhagavad Gita written by BPT, could just put the names of the people in the front somewhere in the foreword or before or after, and say who's who, so we get a little more of a clear identity? Because when I first read the Bhagavad Gita, I was a little bit thrown off. Well, who's who and what's what? It's not relevant to me, and it's only after some time that we get into the drama, everything of the whole episode here, and it's only after some time that we get to the philosophy, which we first hear about in around chapter 10, verse 10, 11. So it might be nice to know who all these people are. Do you think it would help? I'm asking for your opinions.
Okay, I raised my hand, but
Okay.
now I'm just going to speak. If it's okay, Maharaj.
It is okay.
I think that's a fantastic idea. And if you'd like, I can read text 4, pick out the names and just write down the names of the people. And then I can I can say it or however you want to do it.
Well, we're talking about the publishing of the Bhagavad Gita. It might be nice if the publishers themselves could just put a little bit of a genealogical table here, it would be up to them, and they do it very expertly. But maybe a letter to them might help from you or anybody else who thinks it's valid. But thank you for offering that service. Anybody else think it might be a nice idea?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, all right.
Dhanraj?
Because
Has his hands up.
I think, oh, right, sorry.
Yes, Mark, I think it's a brilliant idea because a lot of people who are newcomers or Westerners who don't know the background of the history would be especially, enlightened when they would read it, because otherwise it would take them a long time to understand the book. So I think it's a great idea, definitely.
Yeah, it can throw some people off and get some persons to the point of saying, "Oh, I'm not going to read anymore. This is just too complicated." You know, already the Sanskrit is too much for some folks. So I find that, like, if you look at the page 13 in Roman letters, setting the scene is very helpful. It puts things in the right perspective. You know, page 13, if you want to look at that. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 13. That's right. XIII. That's helpful. That's coming from the publishers. Maybe just a little bit more can come in there. They might have some reasons for not doing so. Maybe we can write a letter to them on behalf of all of us. You know, we think that might be helpful. Any other opinions on this? It's all right to express opinions. Krishna expresses his opinions about it in this Gita. Okay, we do have Purna Chandra.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you are in my town. I'm
Yeah,
so
thank you for the potato subject, by the way.
potatoes, right? Okay, Maharaj. Okay. I think they should do it too, because in a way, like it's good, because when you're new, you don't know who's who. Unlike that in Gaur Leela, like you can go to Google and see who's who in Gaur Leela, you can see it. But I don't see anything in Bhagavad Gita like who's who. So it would be.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, nice. Good. Anybody else have any opinion on this?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I think it's a wonderful idea, especially, and of course, for new people who are reading, but even for some people who are familiar with it, who might suffer from some cognitive understanding, or some people have some neurologic, or like aren't neurotypical, they're neurodiverse, and sometimes taking in information in different ways can be difficult. So seeing something kind of like visually mapped out like that, or laid out up front, so that there's a easier frame for reference, even for some of the old timers that might have a hard time just with cognitive stuff, that I think that would go a long way to serve new people and old time devotees.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you very much. Anybody else? I see Namacharya's got his golden hand up.
Yes, Maharaj, I just wanted to ask the BBT, if you said we can write a letter to them, so maybe one of us can do that, but which is the main office of BBT that is responsible for this printing? Is it the one in Mayapur?
I think probably we go to the one in LA. So Avaz is in charge of that one, and they'll just take it to all the other BBT offices that we have around the world. But whatever is scripted, it should be, nice, sober, serious, mature, well thought out. Doesn't have to be lengthy, really, it's quite simple. But somebody wants to take up the task, that would help. But good. Let's get a few more opinions. Maybe some of you say, no, we should not do that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, Ravinder Swarup, what do you say?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I was thinking that is it only the who's who part that you think should be a glossary for? Because then that is limited to only one of the chapters or maybe two of the chapters. But I was thinking, do you suggest extending it to some concepts that keep on appearing multiple times in Bhagavad Gita? Words, let's say like anarthas or gunas or things like that. Should there be a glossary of that also, including the names?
Yeah. Well, that's getting super involved now. Yeah, perhaps that's something we could think of as well. You know, but where I'm coming from is, let's try to make it as easy for a newcomer as possible. And if let's say queries that people have there that real mill through their heads can be allayed somehow by some simple explanation. especially the names that are delivered right from the start. Like it can turn some people off, maybe. Well, who are these? And for me personally, right in chapter 1, text 40, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, everybody knows this one. By the generally women, according to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So things like that can throw people, as soon as they hear something like that, remark, "Uh-oh, I'm not going to go any further on this," because there's no explanation. How did he arrive at that conclusion? And so you understand where I'm coming from. I struggled with that. I do to this day. It would have been good if just a little bit of a footnote could come out there and to explain this, because generally with things that oftentimes we hear men operate on different sides of the brain than women per se, so that can be a little bit of an explanation. Footnotes might be helpful in some places, but I'm just raising that because I know some people will just stop as soon as they read that. They'll say, "I'm not going to read this book anymore." So if I guess you have to be a little bit sensitive, super sensitive, justifiably so, if you're hearing the names of all these Kshatriyas and they're coming up and right off the get-go, who is Duryodhana anyway? Who is Sanjay? Who is Dhritarashtra? I mean, setting the scene does a good job. I don't know if it's enough, not sure. That's
I
why
was,
I'm asking for
Maharaj,
the
I was
opinion.
thinking like we could have a family tree actually in the beginning of the Gita, right on the
Mhm.
front page or the second
Yeah.
page, a big family tree.
Oh,
So then
yes.
people will know who are the Kauravas and who are the Pandavas and where it starts and who is Shantanu and all that. I mean, I personally, there should be a big family tree there in the front.
Yeah, that's what I've
That gives a
suggested.
good relationship of everybody. Who's the
Some
wife,
kind of
who's the son
genealogical
and stuff.
table.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was suggesting. Same thing. Yes,
Because
that's
I
good.
have already prepared something like that in my house.
Oh, good.
When I first started reading the Gita, I got so confused too. So I started preparing the family tree, and that's how I started now knowing who's who
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, we in our books, the Bhagavatam especially, you have genealogical tables for a lot of the Kshatriya clan, especially through the ages, and so there's a lot of credibility given to that approach. Let's know who's who and where they came from, who's the mom, who's the dad. That was always so important in the past. Yeah. Okay, good. Anybody else want to contribute something on this?
Maharaj, I'm just thinking, right? Sometimes if we go through that way, it's gonna take forever and we'll never do it. So why don't us, like our group, make something, a booklet kind of thing, and then we just go from there.
Make a booklet. What do you mean?
Yeah, it just print a book, like everybody participate and do something, and then somebody, whoever is very smart, they can compile into a booklet.
Laman's posted a family tree on chat. It's just posted now.
Okay, you've got it there. The family tree of the Gita.
Yes, Maharaj, I just shared this. Actually, there's a book, Mahabharat, a condensed version of the epic. And at the end of that, there was this family tree and also a short introduction to every character. And I found that very helpful. That's the concept that you're also suggesting here. So I just shared that.
Yes, and that's done by what's his name? My God, brother.
Krishna Dhar.
Krishna Dharma. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's already done the work for us, so I'm sure someone's done it. It'd be nice to just get it out of here. This particular printing of by the BBT of Bhagavad Gita as it is will be kind of nice. All right, then good. Let's carry on with some of the points that are made here. What is kind of obvious here, there's intrigue, there's elements of jealousy, there's diplomacy, we're hearing about somebody who wants to have a son who's particularly conceived to kill somebody. That was quite common in those days. I'm gonna have a baby that's gonna kill you. That's interesting motives, aren't they? Any other thoughts, Baruz, on this shloka, this verse? Good. Let's go to the next verse then. Duryodhan's still speaking. Keep that in mind. So we'll have somebody do the Sanskrit, the English, and maybe two people to do the purport. For those who haven't had a chance yet, Vaishnavi, could you help line up our people for that?
Yes, Maharaj. Arjuna, and I don't know who, Chitra's iPhone. If you can read, Chitra, can you please read? And Namacharya, Purnachandra, Nitai Priya.
Okay, go ahead.
Arjuna, are you ready?
Arjun,
Sure.
are you
Hare
ready?
Krishna. Okay. Here in this army, there are many heroic.
None of the Sanskrit, man.
Oh, they skip it. They skip it.
Yeah, that's
Atra,
true.
Atra Sura Mahesh Shaba. Brimarjuna Sama Yudi. Yuyu Dano Biratas Cha. Drupadas Cha Maha Rataha.
Oh, very beautiful. Thank you. You are very brave. Next person.
I can do it. Here in the army of many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Vrata, and Draupadi.
Okay, thank you very much. Were you the assigned person to read it?
Like one of them.
Okay. Next.
Purport. Hare Krishna. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were cause of fear. They were mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjun, and thus he compared the others with them. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna is in there. Okay. Haribol. Thank you. Did we leave out somebody?
Yes, Maharaj, I was also in the queue.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Let's read the verse again then, all right?
Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhan, Virat, and Drupada.
Okay, great. You know, again, a list of great warriors of the time, the greatest on the planet, you can say, at that particular time. So it's good to, maybe get a little background on them. Some of us have had the great pleasure to read the Mahabharata. Some of us have had great pleasure of putting on drama space in the Mahabharata. So then you get to penetrate in there a little bit more, depending on how detailed you want to get in there. Okay. So it's good to analyze your army. Duryodhana's inspecting them. I still have images as a kid looking at the film footage of Queen Elizabeth II, looking at the ranks and files of the soldiers lined up, and that's part of the tradition. How are they doing? How are they looking? And that's what generals would often do, isn't it? They would look at their phalanx, they see how straight they are, how composed they are, how what's their foot, everything from the headdress right down to the footwear, how clean and tidy are they? How prepared are they? How, let's say, organized are they, really? So, this is one important element in preparing yourself for a project in general. I think it's a lesson for the devotees. I don't know if anybody on this call is ever keen on enlisting in the army over some kind of war, but we certainly are involved in our mission, involved in various projects. Some of you are involved in the dramas. Some of you may be involved in the Rath Yatra preparations, and for that, some of you might be involved in speaking to the media, the journalists, and so on. For that, you have to be really, really pakka. You have to really, really be very prepared. Yeah. So I think that's one thing that should come out of it. This verse and the previous one. How does everybody look? What's your mindset? Are you prepared to do the job? Really is the question. All right. Let's go to the next verse. We can just go right to the English because we just got a list of names. Someone can volunteer number 5. Someone can volunteer 6. Someone can volunteer 7. And then someone can volunteer 8. And we'll read the purport for 8. All right. You want to get our list together there, Vaishnavi? The difficult task that you have.
Not much. Sorry, Dhananjay, you haven't had a Dhanraj, you haven't had a chance to read. Uddhava and Nitai Priya.
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th one to read the purport.
I can read, Maharaj.
Okay, anybody else left in the queue?
Gaura Prema. Go.
Okay, go to Prima. Let's not forget him. Okay, great. So go ahead.
Drishtaketus che kitana Raja Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Saibyascha Narapungavaha.
There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Sebia.
Good. Next person, just go right to the English. Next.
There are mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Shubhadra and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Nitai Priya, can you read the next?
But for your information, O best of the Brahmins, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force.
Good. Next.
Gaurav.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the verse. Next verse. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta, called Burishrava, who are always victorious in battle.
Dhanraj, you can go again.
Duryodhan mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhan. Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somadatti or Burushrava is the son of the king of Bahukas. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
Karna is the half-brother of Arjun, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya.
Okay. Nice. Prabhupada's giving us a little explanation to these individuals. That helps us now. Okay. Let's look at the names of these powerful heroic people. Yuyudhana, Virata, Drupada, Bhima, Yudhamanyu, and Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, Purishrava. Very, strong names when you just sound them out, and might maybe even a little intimidating for some people. People with incredible character, and behind their characters, all this amazing training that went on, and all of these men lived in ashrams, where they went for military training. And so preparation was done. And the reason why Kshatriyas are mentioned is because they occupy much space in our literature. Probably some higher level that invested a lot in, or their parents invested their children, which are now the great heroes, in training with their duties. The Brahmins were trained in the science of the self, and the Kshatriyas are trained in the science of self-defense and the defense for others. To serve and protect is like their motto, So that's why some time is spent on these great personalities. Any other comments, Bruce, you'd like to make on the realizations? Then let's do one more. The Sanskrit, someone does the Sanskrit, another person on the English, and then we can have two people read the purport, and that should be it for our list of verses today. Okay, so let's go through the same order that we had before. Can everyone remember?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
अन्ये च बहवः सुरा मद अर्थे त्यक्त जीवितः नान शास्त्र प्रहार राणा सर्वे युद्ध विशरधा.
Thank you.
Next. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science.
Okay, beautiful.
As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana.
Sorry, thank you. Next.
Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strength of his friends.
Great. Everybody knows that Duryodhana had gained one extra battalion of 1 million people, which were Krishna soldiers, and Krishna gave a choice to Duryodhana and Arjuna. You can take your pick. Arjuna was lovingly looking at Krishna first when he was having a nap, and when Krishna woke up, that's who he saw first. Duryodhana thought, if I go by Krishna's feet, then he'll know me first. When he wake up, he'll see me, but didn't quite happen that way. So Arjuna may have felt quite defeated when he was given the choice, because it was Arjuna's choice first. There was no alternative really for Duryodhana. So, but he was happy to hear that Arjuna picked Krishna against the 1 million phalanx of men. So Duryodhana was quite happy, and he's a material calculator, right? A materialistic one, even. If I can go so far as to say that. So Duryodhana was proud of what he had amassed as far as allies are concerned. He was overjoyed, and he was super happy that Arjuna chose to have Krishna, one person unarmed against 1 million men who were armed. Pretty amazing. So heroes they are, they were loyal. I think that's a theme that we can pick up here. They are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake, Duryodhana thing. And that's, if you want to be effective in a military situation, that's the kind of mindset that needs to be there. You'll do anything and give your life up to the well-trained and well-intentioned, commander-in-chief. The question is, would there be the same level of loyalty on the other side? What do you think, Prabhus? That's my question. Would Duryodhana had loyal men? Did Arjuna have loyal men? Who would do anything? Any thoughts on that, Prabhus? Especially for those who are stalwarts and studying and reading the Mahabharata. Did Arjuna have any loyal people? That's my simple question.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj, he had.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay. Can you justify your answer to that?
Karna.
Okay, yeah, I was saying the same.
Who was?
Karna.
Well, I'm asking, did Arjuna have the same loyal type people that Duryodhana had?
Yes, I think because people fighting for Arjuna were, believed in the cause, and whereas for Duryodhana, like Drona and Bhishma and all, their hearts were not in it. They gave their best, but
Yes, that's it. They were not loyal,
mm,
and you can't fault them. Who would be most loyal to Arjuna's cause?
Krishna.
Krishna?
Yeah.
Not Krishna.
He agreed not to fight, right? He agreed not to go there. But he did agree to be loyal to the cause of Dharma. And for that, Krishna did not take up arms, but he became an expert chariot driver. And anybody who drives me somewhere, like Nitai Priya knows the other day, didn't I thank Tony? Tony, you're a great driver. You're going to get the blessings of Krishna, who is a great chariot driver. Yeah. So it's an important position from the story of Karna. We know that Atirat, who was his, stepfather, foster father, he was known to be a very good driver. And for that, we have to praise anybody who does a good job. Anytime I go to Cuba, just to make the driver look good, because he's got a snazzy vehicle, looks after it, with a lot of care. I always ask all the devotees, please, muchos gracias to the driver, the taxi cab driver who's taken us around from this city to that city. Yeah, and they do good. It's a very, very let's say honorable thing to be able to drive nicely in order to get the job done. Okay, anybody else have any other answers to the question, which was, does Arjuna have loyal people?
There were many actually. Shikhandi was royal, Uttara, Virata, and his sons. Satyaki was also, yeah.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah.
Also,
That's right. Yeah. These were all people.
also
Yeah.
I said,
You're
I think
breaking
also
up, Dhruv.
Draupadi's brother, Drishtadyuman, who was also there, was also loyal. So I think, for the Pandavas, it was a mixture. Most of them were quite loyal to Arjun and Yudhishthira, of course. But for Duryodhan, it was a mixture of duty, that like Kripacharya, Dronacharya, and Bhishma, but also out of relations that they had to, because many of them were wed into the other princely families. So they also had to do that out of compulsions of relations and things like that. So it was a mixed bag for Duryodhan, but for Arjun also, I think it was definitely more of the cause and the relation. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, well put. And was mentioned by Visanta, I believe, that it was Bhishma, the main people, Bhishma and Drona. They were the best of all. They were seasoned warriors of the game, and yet they didn't have their heart and their service towards Duryodhana. It wasn't the same. They fought the best they could, but their hearts weren't totally into it. And Duryodhana heavily criticized Bhishma for being like that. He got very offensive, just like he's offensive with Duryodhana here. And then the first person we looked at is also offensive all around to others. He was offensive to Krishna, super offensive towards Vidura as well. That's just Duryodhana's nature. So I'm going to get that. Okay. Anything else, Prabhus, you'd like to contribute?
Well, I think
I think we've
Duryodhana,
covered some mileage. Please say it again.
Duryodhana is very arrogant and untrusting also, because he keeps needling Bhishma and Drona, who are,
Yeah. Yes, he wasn't showing the respect, and these were they were senior to him, so that wasn't something he considered very much. Yeah, he was destined to be in trouble. Bad karma
yeah,
boy.
he was accusing them of, not being trustworthy. And
Yeah. It should give us so. Duryodhana, however, felt confident because of the numbers and the caliber of people that he had that he would be successful, right? And but he didn't really understand the scope of Krishna, who he really is, and what he's capable of doing, and that's why he carried on in his arrogant way. If he really understood Krishna's sublime position in the world, then he wouldn't have done what he did. He just surrender himself to Krishna. Good. Thank you, Bruce. Anything else?
Arjuna has his hands up.
Arjuna, go for it.
Okay, so I think for Duryodhana's side, I think the only loyal person that he had was Karna, because he was truly his friend, so he was willing to die for him, and he was very strong. But I think because his uncle wanted
I'm
like
sorry,
the
just
other
trying to
kingdom
understand.
destroyed. Huh?
Did I hear you correctly? You were saying, did I hear it wrong?
You're breaking up, Maharaj.
I'm breaking up.
Yes.
I am just asking if you were saying that Arjuna had Karna as a loyal person. Did
No,
I get
no,
right?
no. I said
Okay.
Duryodhana.
Oh, Duryodhana. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I said because his uncle wanted the kingdom to be destroyed, so he was not in it for the right reasons. He wanted like that's why he was always telling Duryodhana, "Oh, like it's your kingdom, you can do anything you want." But when Krishna wants his way, like it doesn't matter who is against him or what do they have. Krishna will have at the end, Krishna, and at the beginning, Krishna will always do what he wants.
Oh, good. Good. I have a question for you, Boris. You might find this interesting. Can we parallel this story of the Pandavas and the Kauravas to something like what was it in Shakespeare's time, Romeo and Juliet? We had the two families. They were pitted against each other. Does anybody remember their names? The modern day
The
version of
Montagu and the yeah,
yeah.
I think. Montango and Capulet.
Montagu and
Capulet.
yeah.
Okay. Can you parallel that to this? Or similarly,
Yes.
the modern day version of Juliet is the Jets and the Sharks, was it? Yeah. And the modern day story of the West Side Story. Are any of you familiar with the musical, The West Side Story? How about our thespian devotees there? Oh, Shakti knows. Of course she knows. She's a New York girl, of course. How about you, Rabinder Swarup Namacharya? Do you know the modern day version of Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story?
No,
Well,
Maharaj,
you
I'm
guys
not.
should see this. You should see it. Oh, you should see it as a musical. And there's a rift between the Puerto Ricans and let's say the Latinos and the Caucasian and the white boys. So there were the Sharks and there were the Jets, I think, and that's what they call. Yeah. Shakti knows what I'm talking about, right? And they do it so well. Is it a parallel? But let's take the modern day Romeo and Juliet or the old version. Can we parallel that to the Pandavas and the Kauravas? Just maybe to make my question a little more clear, were there motives similar? What was the motive of the Pandavas and the motives of the Kurus? Anybody can answer that?
I mean, it seemed to me, Hare Krishna Maharaj, sorry. It seemed to me that the Kauravas were very emboldened. They wanted everything. They wanted the castle. Their motive was to get everything. And the Pandavas just wanted a place to live. They were they were very pious. They'll say, I'll take a little house over here. So it was really, I don't see, I mean, maybe I missed the love affair because when I think of Romeo and Juliet, I think of love affair.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that aspect. Romeo and Juliet, they each came out from one of the two camps, right?
Yes.
And they didn't like each other. They just didn't get along. And that's why it was very taboo that one boy from one camp and a girl from the other camp are getting together. It wasn't a good fit, according to most people. So is my question clear?
Yeah, I could say no then, because I would think that I mean, I don't know as much about Shakespeare, but I do know about the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and it seemed like the Pandavas and the Kauravas, the biggest difference was their behavior and the way that they behaved and the way that they thought and the way that they acted and so I mean the Pandavas didn't really have negative behavior, but were already being chopped off by from the Kauravas from the beginning. I mean, they were family, they were cousins, So I
I
don't.
think there is a similarity.
Okay, so good.
Yeah, there is a similarity.
Yeah,
Yes.
the ego, both.
The ego, yeah.
It's the ego which made them fight, whether it's over territory or a woman or it doesn't matter. So ego
Also,
appeals to.
yeah. Also, in this Romeo Juliet's death basically shocked both the families. Whereas in the Mahabharata, in the Gita, like what is happening is there's a massive war, the Kurukshetra war, and that leads to near extinction of both families, kind of, right? So it's kind of similarities there. Then there's another very good similarity, I think.
Mhm.
Both are noble, noble families.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, royal and noble families, both sides, right? Romeo, Juliet, and Maha in the Gita, the quote, right? They both are noble families, and both the families are at feud with each other, and the family honor is very important in both, I think. Like in Romeo and Juliet, honor, the family honor, and then there's pride of the family, and there's revenge, of course, which actually is driving the feud. Whereas in this Mahabharata thing, I think it's the Kshatriya dharma, right? That's the thing and the pride and the ego, right? I think that's the family thing that's happening there, right?
So
I think that's the
you're
similarity. I'm
drawing
figuring it out that way.
the similarities. Can anybody point out differences from our group here?
Differences, there are many also.
Gaurav Prema has to leave now. We're sorry about that. Okay.
Well, Mahabharata is a huge war between not just two families. It's
Yeah.
literally the world, civilized world fighting. Whereas, Romeo and Juliet is just two families.
Okay. Anybody else can give us a different, view of this?
Yeah, I think the difference that comes to my mind immediately is in the Mahabharata there was God. In Romeo and Juliet there were all humans, and there was God, and then there were a lot of demigods or demigods who came as avatars like Arjun. Yudhishthira himself was a avatar of Dharmadev. So like that. So I think probably the difference is that you were talking about humans on one side and God and demigods on the other side. That would probably be one of the differences that comes to my mind.
Okay. What about the motive in the Mahabharata at Kurukshetra? What was each of the two camps thinking? What was in their mind? What was the characteristic? Or are they both the same? Characteristic difference. Okay, so I'll offer to say something on this. Wasn't it that the Pandavas their motive was Dharma? They fought on behalf of Dharma, right? And in the case of Duryodhana, it was adharma. They were just letting greed lead, anger, desire. On the Pandavas, it wasn't like that. They were willing to fight for the sake of Dharma. They were willing to fight for the sake of what Krishna wanted. So that's how I feel that it isn't totally a parallel, even though there's two camps.
And that, Maharaj, that's what I was kind of trying to say. I didn't say it as eloquently as you. But it seemed as though, and then when it came down to it, they're on the battlefield and there's Krishna and Arjuna's having this. That's the whole, like, not the whole beginning, but it's like after all of the things that have happened and after all of the things that Duryodhana has done, Arjuna still is like, wait a minute, I am having a crisis of faith. I have a crisis of my dharma as a kshatriya. I don't know if I can go through with this. And that's when all of the Bhagavad Gita is spoken.
Mhm.
So it just seems that,
Yes, Arjuna, thank you. Arjuna's drive was one of, goodness, sattvaku, and he was thinking about his family and his compassion was coming from him, not so much from the other side. So there's a difference here. Well, one side is clean, the other side is dirty. Right. Yeah. I wouldn't say the same thing for Romeo and Juliet. They're just egocentric individuals. So, like the tribal mentality, right? All right, well, that's good. Thank you so much, Bruce, for everything. And I guess we just, I have to leave. Hare Krishna. You
Yes,
have to
I
leave.
have to
Hare
leave.
Krishna.
Hare
You have to leave
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh boy,
Hare
you have to leave.
Krishna.
Don't leave Hare Krishna. I don't think it's a good idea. All right, thank you very much, Bruce. I don't think we have time
Hare
for takeaway,
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
but I'll stay on with Shakti, or maybe you can you just contact me, do it that way. Thank you, everyone. Thank you from far and wide. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
And happy Balaram's appearance day, which for some of you happens on Saturday, some of you happens on Friday. Okay, Hare Krishna.
And
Shakti, will you contact me?
Shakti, you're muted.
I said, yes, I can call you. And like, once you're in the car. I don't know where everybody is. Okay.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu.
पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
have a good weekend, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Happy Balaram Children's Day.